Good morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day week. I feel like it was just Christmas a couple days ago and now it's March. St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Memorial Day, summer. It's coming. But anyway, I'm wearing green today and I have a couple things this week that I'm doing for St. Patty's Day. First up today, we are making red velvet turned into green velvet cupcakes. So I think it was it was a couple weeks ago now, I made a blue velvet cake for my girlfriend's shower. She didn't end up having because she had her baby the day I gave her her cake. But I thought it looked so cool. I just took the red velvet cake recipe from Betty Crocker, switched out the red for blue. It came out wonderful, but I was so curious how it tasted, so I thought, I'm just gonna remake that and we're gonna make it green for St. Patty's Day. And what intrigues me about that recipe is it has a boiled icing, is I think what they're technically called. It's where you take flour and milk and you cook it on the stove and then you mix it with, you cream butter and granulated sugar. It's such like a weird recipe for frosting that I've never tried before and I was just intrigued. So we're gonna try it. I'm gonna have everything in case it does not turn out well. Then we don't have a lot of them. So I'm gonna make them into cupcakes. I'm going to have the recipe and make 12 and then we'll just have those, and if they're really gross, then I don't feel bad for throwing them away. But I think it should be fine. I think that recipe has been around for a while. So we're gonna try that today. It's Monday. Then we have them for a couple days. St. Patrick's Day is Wednesday this year. So the little munchkin's still upstairs sleeping. I'm gonna go grab him and we are going to start making cupcakes in the morning because that's when I seem to have the most spare time. Okay, so for these cupcakes, I'm having everything. So we're starting with 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, and then 1 to 3/4 of a cup of white sugar, 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder, 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 of a cup of oil, 1/2 cup of buttermilk, 1 egg, 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And like I said, I'm making these into green cupcakes for St. Patrick's Day. So instead of red, I'm gonna add green food coloring. And I'm just gonna kind of eyeball this. I can add more. And then I'm gonna go ahead and mix this on low speed for 30 seconds and then beat it for 2 minutes on medium speed. So in the notes section, it talks about if you want to do this as cupcakes. The full recipe makes 24 regular sized cupcakes. You fill them 2/3 full and bake 20 to 22 minutes. I'm having the recipe and I'm actually, for the first time, I've never done this, but I got these silicone cupcake liners. I know you can put it just in this, but I'm gonna try to put the liners in here. Like I said, I've never done that before, but we'll see if it works. And I do have 12 of them, but little Paul stole one of them and I have no idea where it is. So we're gonna see if I can fill 11. Okay, they're definitely a little bit more like army green than I was expecting, but it's totally fine. So these are going in the oven for about 20 minutes. Okay, so I've decided to make actually 1/3 of this recipe, and I'm going to start by I'm using my 1/2 tablespoon measure. I'm doing 2 tablespoons of flour, and to that I'm adding 1/2 cup of milk. My burner's not on yet. And it said whisk until smooth. I'm so curious how this turns out. And now I'm going to cook this over medium until it thickens. That's okay, so I figured that would happen very fast because I didn't have a lot in here. So it's only been like a couple minutes and you can see it's like super thick. So I'm going to pull it from the stove, and it said to let it sit for 10 minutes. So I'm going to let this hang out here for 10 minutes and we'll be back. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes. I have the flour milk mixture right there. I'm going to get in my, again, I'm 1/3ing the recipe. So I'm just using 1 stick of butter here, or 1/2 cup. And this is where it gets weird. I'm adding 1 to 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, not confectioner's or powdered sugar. And then all I'm gonna do is I am going to beat this with my electric mixer until light and fluffy. And then I'm gradually going to add in this very thick flour milk mixture by the tablespoon on high speed while I'm mixing. So I gradually add flour by the tablespoon, beat on high speed until smooth, beat in vanilla, and then it should be ready to go. This for about 5 minutes. It looks like frosting. It has a granulated sugar taste, which is not very appealing. The only thing I can think of is maybe as it sits, that sugar kind of dissolves. I don't know. It has the flour in it, so I'm kind of scared to keep beating it. I've probably been beating it for about 5, 6, 8 minutes, something like that. The recipe does not give you any timing, so I'm glad I didn't make a lot of this. I'm going to just put this in a piping bag just to make it a little bit easier, and we're going to decorate these cupcakes and we'll let them sit. It's lunchtime now, so maybe by dinner time this icing will taste different. Let's decorate these cupcakes. Okay, so many hours later, we just woke up from a nap. It's daylight savings day, so everything's all screwed up. It's actually 5 o'clock. Paul just woke up from his nap. So I just tried a bite of one of the cupcakes. The grittiness is gone. It's oddly like not a very sweet icing if that's your jam. It's pretty good. I can't believe I made a frosting out of flour. That's a little odd. But I was thinking that the sugar might over time just kind of dissolve, and it did. Would I make it again? Maybe. But I think what goes great with red velvet or green velvet would be cream cheese frosting. So if I had to do them again, I would just do cream cheese frosting. But that's interesting. I wouldn't say I hate it. It's a little weird. But the cake is really good. It's very spongy and one of my favorites just because you just dump everything in a bowl and mix it. There's no creaming and all that jazz. I'll leave the recipes below if you want to give it a try. If you do, please let me know how it turned out and how you liked it. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Happy St. Patrick's Day.